Oh,
Oh, hello. Okay. Chapter 13 is called The Rocket Book. So they're improving their designs more and more, but they have really limited information. It's kind of amazing how much they've done with what little information
Just
they
like
have.
trial
They're
and
basically
error.
going off of trial and error and
Yeah.
like what the machinists know and what they've learned from chemistry class and trigonometry. And
Real basic.
one thing I think that's really cool about this book is it shows how valuable knowledge is in a way.
Oh, totally.
And especially, I mean, think about being in a small town. The internet not only does not exist. I mean, like the whole idea of it
Doesn't exist.
doesn't exist. I mean, they have a telephone in their house?
Which is unusual for the community.
Yes.
He has it because he's a superintendent.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so
But you know what? Something that's beautiful about it is like all these men who have this knowledge that helps them develop rockets up to this point. It's not college education. It's like an interesting study in like multiple ways to gain knowledge.
Yeah.
You know?
totally. And so they kind of get a surprise. Their science teacher, Miss Riley, calls Sonny in. I think it's like a snow day or something. Does he go to school on a snow day and like nobody else is there, but he has to stay there and go to
It's
school?
a super cold, snowy day. I don't think it's
Or
a snow
something.
day.
Anyway,
Look, I don't know.
I can't remember what it was. I think like they get there and they're like, "Oh, we could have just skipped school today because nobody else showed up." But then like they have to stay there because it's too cold. Or I don't even remember what. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so
Oh yeah, it is.
the
It says,
librarian.
if you boys think you're going to class, you're very much mistaken. The county superintendent has suspended classes.
Okay.
Yep. But they didn't know until they got to school.
Yeah.
No.
So they did the whole journey to school. They
Waste.
Get there. Yeah. Okay. And they go to the library, and the librarian.
Actually, it's Miss Riley pulls him aside. He goes to Miss Riley's room to get homework.
Okay, but she just says like, "Me and the librarian ordered this for you."
Yes.
Anyway, so he says, "I took the book and read its title, written in gold gilt on a black bar, imprinted on the front cover. It was the most wondrous book title I'd ever seen. Principles of Guided Missile Design." And so this, you gotta think, it'd be like they've been working at this problem and trying to do these designs, for months at this point. This is like gold. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, to imagine like how valuable this book is and the information in it is.
Well, and they've
hard
been
to
trying to get a book for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Since Quentin joined the team. Quentin was like, we're going to need a book to help us.
Yeah.
And so Miss Riley and Miss Bryson, the librarian, they team up and they're able to give him this book. And he's like so excited, so grateful. And he like holds it like reverently in his hands. And he's like, can I keep it for a while? And she's like, it's yours, Sonny. You can keep it forever.
Yeah.
So like not only do they track this book down for them, but they also just like give him the book to have.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And so she says, "All I've done is give you a book. You have to have the courage to learn what's inside it." Anyway.
Yeah. And it's advanced mathematics. She tells him, she's like, it's like differential equations and calculus, which they haven't learned in math at all.
Yeah. So that's the big. What's this whole thing about him betting he bet Roy Lee that he'd kiss Dorothy or something?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
I don't even remember. Okay. So that's really the big development is they get a rocket book, which is going to mean that they'll know more calculations, like they'll be able to make a lot more specific changes to their rocket and make more improvements. The other big story is he's like on his way home in the cold and he's like basically going to freeze to death, and then this lady like brings him into her house and warms him up and dries out his clothes and stuff. And you'll have to go read it, but basically it's really good. Like he's starting to kind of learn more about just things that you don't realize or think about when you're a kid, but just some kind of like the problems and challenges in the world and the like complications that people face. And then he finds out actually that his dad, when he was about Sonny's age, when he was a teenager, like there was a fire on where he lived, and I think also where his dad lived. I think his dad lived kind of like in the boonies, like in the like his dad kind of
didn't come from money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the houses like on his street burned down, and like pretty much the whole entire family inside all died in the fire, except he heard like a baby crying inside, and so he ran inside this burning building and pulled out a baby, and that was the lady that ended up like saving Sonny's life. So you kind of have this like his dad saved this lady's life way
like
back in the
full
day,
circle.
and now she kind of saved Sonny's life from freezing to death.
And like the fire was bad. The mom and dad and her 8 brothers all died in the fire.
Yeah.
Like it was a bad fire, and you know it also shows more about Sonny's dad's character. Like he's a brave guy. Like anytime there's any sort of collapse in the mine or issue in the mine, like there are people who are hired to go handle those things, but he's always with them. So you know, Sonny for sure learns more about his dad and gains more respect for him. All right, cool. That's it. Okay, cool. That's chapter 13.